That little thing is a mix between a cantaloupe and an Armenian cucumber. It doesn't taste near as good as an Armenian cucumber. It doesn't really taste like, you can almost see the orange there. It does not at all taste like, unless it's a green cantaloupe. It leaves your mouth kind of puckered, and I should have let it go longer, but I was so curious to see what it tasted like. It was growing on my cantaloupe bush. The Armenian cucumbers are clear on the other side of the other trellis on the other side, but I can see that's what it is. I really don't like it. Maybe if I'd let it stay on the vine longer. Interesting, huh? What would I call that? A cantaloupe? Now, that lacy ruffled basil, this is a basil. I've never grown, this is my first year. It is so beautiful, but it is not bloomed. I don't know if it doesn't bloom like regular basil or what. So to me, that's a bit unusual. But it's beautiful. I hate to pick it and eat it. I have picked a little bit because the more when you pick on basil, it helps it to grow. But usually you wait till it, just before it blooms or when it starts blossoming, you pick those off. This one's never blossomed, so I would kind of consider it a little unusual. Maybe it will. We will see. Now, I just harvested some of this. It's really, usually stays pretty round till I start harvesting, which it grows round. Now, I just harvested this whole section, but it was round all the way. I wished I'd have thought to videotape it before. I'm going to make some pesto. It's really pretty. I don't know if I would grow it again. It's called boxwood basil. And it is starting to bloom. You can see the little tiny blossoms on it. It smells wonderful when you run your hand over it. It really smells good. But it's harder to clean than regular basil because it's very compact. It grows in there's these little bunches, and they all grow together, and they grow in this big round bush. I don't know if you can tell. You could probably tell from here, but I've been harvesting and it's catching back up. This was all cut down back here, and it's catching up, and it had pretty much rounded up again when I cut some more. I'm going to make some basil. I just thought if I have it, I need to use it, but I don't know. I may just let it continue to grow as pretty for the summer in here. Like I said, I doubt if I will grow that again because it's, excuse me, it's a lot harder to wash. But I think it's kind of different and odd. I forgot to get this. I'll add it to what I've got in the kitchen because I'm going to make some pesto. I had my granddaughter last few days. I don't know if I'll get the pesto made today, but at least I'll get this washed. Maybe this afternoon I'll get it. Yeah, that's something a little different. It's really nice. It's kind of something different, but I probably won't use it again. I don't know. We'll see. This is not odd, but for me it's unusual. It's the first time I've had a overhead trellis tunnel type. This year is the first time, and I just love the cucumbers, the Armenian cucumbers growing down, and all the plants growing. My Mr. Stripey is just growing up through the top of it. This is just, it's a real jungle in here. I'm going to have to keep more on top, and I've got several little cucumbers. I need to get those picked. It's not odd. It's just, for me, it's unusual because it's my first year doing this. So, yeah. Again, this one, set my little piece of basil down. That is not really odd. To me, it's fascinating because they come out that pretty light green, and then they start, as they ripen, they turn this pretty, this is not really the purple bell. The purple bells are darker, and they don't start out yellow. My others haven't, but these do. And I just love the color on it. I almost hate to pick them, but it was ready to be picked. Let me show you something on that. Okay. Do you see how they start out yellow? Okay, and then here it's starting to get the color, and then it just keeps going. Isn't that beautiful? Now this is my I believe this is my plant that's 2. This is its 2nd year. I have one over there that's its 3rd or 4th. I lose track. But this one's its 2nd year. That other one, after the 2nd year, all the peppers, I think the 3rd year, all the peppers were a different color on the plant. And then this year, they're just regular old green. I'm going to let them stay a little longer and see if they turn another color over there. But that was, talk about odd. That was every different color bell pepper on one plant last year. Was just fascinating. But this one, I just love the color on it. It is just so beautiful. This one's not odd either. It is unusual. For some of you, it's not. But for those that have never grown Malabar, this is my first year. You can eat the leaves raw, but I don't like the taste of them. Kind of tastes like beets to me, and I've never cared for beets. I know. My family all loved it. My grandma made pickled beets, and everybody rant and raved how wonderful, and I'm sure they were, but not for a person who is just not a beet lover. I don't usually have to train these, but this was kind of straying off the side. Isn't that just pretty, though? Look at the little pink blossoms. I don't know if you can see it the way the sun's on it. I'll show you. I've got them all over the garden. When you cook the leaves, I don't ever taste them. I'm sure you get some nutrition, though. I cut some up and put in my scrambled eggs. It's unusual to me. The heat doesn't bother Malabar, which is nice because it gets really, really hot here. Really hot. They're shiny, they're beautiful. The little pink blossoms that I understand will turn into berries. They haven't yet. It just climbs, it likes the heat. At first I thought when I tried the leaves, I'm not growing this again. But it is so beautiful, I may. And then if I want extra nutrition, I'm sure I haven't looked and studied on the nutrition. I'm sure that green plants are just flat good for you. I don't know for sure. I'm going to do some research on the nutrition on it. But it's just such a beautiful plant that I enjoy having. It's such a good climber and likes the heat and doesn't look all burnt like a lot of my plants. This has been an extremely hot summer. Unusually so here, up in the hundreds, even in the spring, early spring in May. It was in the hundreds. We don't get hundreds in May, or not usually in June. I can't even remember. Usually it hits in July and August, but not so early and for so long. Sometimes it's in the high 90s, but just an awful lot of hundreds. Most of the time, I think it's been 104, 105, 106, 107. I think one day might have been 110. Although I can remember as a kid it hitting 120, and I thought, oh my goodness. But that was, like I said, in August. So this plant I am just fascinated with how it is handling the heat. I don't have to worry about building the microclimate around it. It helps to build the microclimate and give shade. So a lot of my other plants, I've worked hard to get the microclimate going so they don't all burn up, putting shade cloths and, all kinds of stuff. Planting under where there's shade trees above, where they don't get full sun all the time and just literally fry to a crisp. Some of the leaves did anyway getting started. But yeah, this is a great plant for hot weather. Okay, I am frying the cantaloupe. I think because of the orange that was right around the outside, can't see it right now, but with the frying it seems to have almost disappeared, which is weird too. But I think if I would have left that on the vine, it would have continued to get orange. I might have been able to eat my cantaloupe in the shape of a long cucumber. So if I get another one, I'm going to let it just grow and see what happens. I think because it had that raw taste when I bit into it, and it wasn't sweet at all, but then a green cantaloupe wouldn't be either. So I'm going to fry it up, see if that sweetens it. I love experimenting. We'll see what happens. That cantaloupe, I guess that's what I'm going to call it, is not bad fried up. It does not have the texture of fried squash. It does not have the taste of fried squash. There's a slight sweetness. It's kind of like fried squash, but there's a slight sweetness to it. Actually, it was pretty good. I didn't like it raw, but fried up, not bad. I can eat that.